cannot mention ABC as a phone number, or else can you mention 1, 2, 3 as a student name? No. Numerical values cannot be inserted in the student name. Why? Because a name, a proper name cannot be numbers here. So, some string should be there in the student name. Likewise, when we are giving any data for attributes, you need to give the check constraint, so that the values what we are giving, it will be checking against the rule what we have given here. Okay. So, here check student name should not be equal to integers, means what happens? No numbers, no integers is proceeded for the student name. Some characters, only string value should be taken for the student name, right? So, that is nothing but the check constraints, means we are checking the data when we are inserting. We are checking the data when we are inserting, right? So, that is nothing but the check constraint, right? All these are unique, not null, default, check. So, to what are we applying? We are applying to the attributes of the table, attributes of the relation. So, all these will become the domain attributes. All will become this domain constraints. So, now apart from this, we have primary key and foreign key constraint also. We have foreign key constraint also. So, what do you mean by primary key and foreign key? Primary key, simply we can say that it is a combination of unique and not null. Unique and not null means when we are giving primary key to any attribute, that attribute should be unique, the value of the attribute should be unique, at the same time it should not be null, it should not be null, right. So, now we will take address, okay, we will specify address as a primary key. Now, can we make address as a primary key here? So, this primary key should be uniquely identify the entire tuple, right. What is a primary key? So, an attribute is called to be a primary key when we are identifying the whole tuple. So, using address, can we identify who is that particular person? So, what is the address I have given? Vizag. So, using Vizag, can you identify what is his email, what is his phone number, or what is his name, or what is the student ID? You cannot identify, because in Vizag we have lot of students who are studying in a particular institute, yes or no? Yes. So, student address, it will be unique and it will be not null also. We can mention the values and it is unique, but unique in the sense you have to uniquely identify the whole tuple. What is a tuple? Here this is the whole tuple. Using this one, using the value of this attribute, can we identify the whole tuple? No, you cannot identify the whole tuple. So, you need to take such attribute as a primary key which can identify the whole tuple, which can identify the whole tuple. So, with the phone number, can we identify? Even with the phone number also, we may not identify who is this person, okay. And see, can we identify with a name? Names are obviously repetitive, yes or no? So, my name can, the same name which a person is having, the same name can be possessed by some other person also. So, names cannot be unique and name cannot be a primary key. Now, what about the student ID? What about the student ID? Every student who is pursuing his degree in any institution, he will be having the unique ID. So, that ID will not be repetitive, and whoever has joined, definitely that student will carry a student ID, right. So, see this condition, primary key. So, using primary key, the attribute, using that attribute, you can uniquely identify. I will say 10 as an student ID. Now, can you say who is this 10 is? Yes, we can obviously say. So, this 10 has got ABC name, ABC name, And what is his address? Yes, obviously 10 resides in Vizag. Fine. So, using the student ID, we can retrieve the entire tuple, right. Now, student ID becomes a primary key of the relation, right. So, this primary key comes with a combination of unique and not null, When we are mentioning primary key for the student ID, this should be unique, means the value should not be repetitive, and you cannot have the null values, and the last one is foreign key. When we are mentioning between two different tables, okay, when we want to mention the association between two different tables, then we use foreign key, and this we also call it as referential integrity. Means, what do you mean by referential integrity? When we want to maintain integrity between the data, then the foreign key should be introduced. So, for example, we'll take an example of 10. So, if somebody comes and inquires about this 10 in the department, so who is this student ID 10? So, the department will give his details. So, his name is ABC and he resides in Vizag. Same time, when some other person comes and inquires about 10 in any other department, so maybe in the library or maybe in the sports department. So, when he inquires in the sports department and the library too, the value of the 10 means the name and the address should not change. So, it should carry a consistent data. When it can be consistent in nature? When this ID is reflected at library and at the sports department too. So, when this primary key is getting related into the other tables like library and sports, means we are maintaining the consistency, we are maintaining data consistency over there, right. We are not repeating again the same key, the primary key we are referring to the other table, so that this entire data can be specified in the next tables too. That is nothing but your foreign key, right. A primary key in one table will become the foreign key in the referee table. Okay. So, this is a student table and we have got the library table and we have got the sports table. The primary key, the student ID, will be the foreign key in the next referee table. Okay. So, these are the different constraints we have in structured query language, right. So, we just will summarize all these things. So, what is how many constraints do we have? We have 3 types of constraints: domain constraint, key constraints and referential integrity. What is domain constraints? So, when the conditions that are applied to the set of values for an attribute, like we have already mentioned, the domain constraints are applied on the attributes. The conditions that we apply on the attributes will become the domain constraint. So, what are the examples here? What are the examples? Not null is an example, unique is an example, check is an example, right. We have seen all the examples. So, what is the second one? The key constraints. What is key constraints? A key by which we use to identify uniquely within an entity set is nothing but a key constraint. So, what is an example here? The primary key. So, how do we choose a primary key for a relation? So, that is nothing but a key constraint. The next one is the referential integrity. So, what happens between the referential integrity is specified between two tables. When we are specifying within the two tables, then we call it as referential integrity. So, what are the examples here? So, we have already seen here. So, for domain constraints, check, not null, unique and default. These are the examples for domain constraints where we apply on the attribute. So, here we have primary key, So we have also discussed how we have to choose a primary key for a relation. Then the foreign key will become the referential integrity, because to maintain the data consistency we are specifying the foreign key between the two tables, right. So these are the different constraints we have in the database management system. In SQL particularly, we have all these constraints, right. Thank you.